Okay, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Carl here, back today from stage K. After God knows how long of trying to set up all of this. I don't know at this very standpoint how these couple of videos are gonna come out because I'm using a new app. Supposedly it's set to 4K 50. For some reason it says it's recording in 30s. This may be a 4K 30 FPS video, which is not often you see me do 30 FPS videos, but the video quality turned out fine from the tests I did, even though it's 30 FPS, or it says it's 30 FPS, unless it's just a preview that's 30. Anywho, we are back today. This is the second video on the X32 compact series of videos I'm going to be making for you guys. These coming couple of days, you can see this is what you guys will be hearing me on for the next couple of videos. This is my Shure SM7B. Going through a cloud lifter in the back and into my SSL2 at my desk, which is then going into Adobe Audition. And I may do some few minor edits here and there about the audio, but in general, I'm using all the processing, as you can see, from within the X32 itself. So the first video you guys saw on this console was us setting up the console, plugging in everything at the back and getting her all situated here. So this video is going to be a overview video over the console. So as you can see, this is the console in front of us. So you have two fader banks on the X32 compact. You have the input side, which can also double up as your bus outputs, and your output side / DCAs, whatnot. Your main master fader. So on your left side will most of the time be your inputs. As you can see on the left side, you have 8 buttons to select between different inputs and certain outputs. So you got channel 1 through 8, 9 through 16, 17 through 24, 25 through 32, aux in and your USB return, effects returns for your effect sends, which comes out of your... do I have that set up? No, I do not. Oh, yes, I do. Your effects sends for your time-based effects or returns. Then you have your bus masters 1 through 8, which is basically a copy of your bus 9 through 8, or 1 through 8, and 9 through 16. On your left side, we have your output fader bank section, where you have your DCAs, which stands for Digital Controlled Amplifiers. I'll get into this in a later video. Your bus 1 through 8, your bus 9 through 16, and your matrix sends. In the middle here, you will find 2 buttons, DAW remote, which is a function you can use in order to control certain things with your right fader bank within your DAW or video editing software or whatever. So it's basically turning this bank of faders into MIDI channels you can map into your favorite DAW or into a video editor for doing some audio automation, stuff like that. They can do Mackie, MCU, HUI, or just generic CC. And you can either do that via the actual MIDI inouts on the back, or as most people will be running this through the X-Live card or whatever card in the back that has an actual USB out you have plugged into the console. In this case, on this console, it's the X-Live card or the X USB card. And then you have your send some fader button, which I'm going to get into that in a later video. But basically what your send some fader lets you do is select a channel or a bus and then send it to multiple buses or send multiple channels to one bus. That's how your send some fader works. On the top of your console, you have your talk back section, which is going to be your talk A and B, which is going to be turning on and off your talk level, either it be latching or you have to hold it. I'll get into each section in later videos. Your talk level, which is going to be your input level for your talkback level on the back. Monitor level is the level of your monitoring out. Dim dims your monitor or phone's level by a certain level that you can set inside of your monitoring on the screen. and phones level as well, your headphone out. In the case of me, I have my headphone plugged into an external mixer down here and taking a left-right matrix feed right out of the back of the console into a different sound device to do some amplification and some tuning for these headphones externally. Here you have your config and preamp section, which is going to be your gain level, 48 volt phantom power, and polarity invert. Now, Behringer calls this phase, which is kind of wrong. Phase is time-based, whilst the polarity is you flip the directions of the wire. So basically, you just switch around your neutral or your blue wire and red wire, for example, your hot and your balanced around. This is something very commonly used if you have a snare top or a snare bottom mic. I'll get into this in a later video, but yeah. Then you have your low cut, which pretty self-explanatory. Is a low cut. I'm on a matrix. Do I have something which does not have an EQ? Just a blank channel. Your low cut. To set your low cut. Gate, level, and gate enable. View button. Compressor level, enable and view button, your equalizer section. So the Behringer has 4 parametric EQs on the input side, whilst on any output or bus it's got 6. So you got your EQ on off, your mode to select between low cut, low shelf, PEQ, VEQ, high shelf, and high cut, but then you need to be on another one. Then you have your gain knob, your frequency knob, your Q knob, which is your width, and your selection knob to select between the various frequency bands. And if you're on the buses, you will press both of them to get the band in between. Then you have your bus mixes, send, and master section. So here is where you select if you want the input to go to the main left-right bus, pan left or right for the left-right bus, mono level to send it to your mono bus and the level of which you're sending it to the mono bus, and a view button for your mix bus sends where you can set your mix bus sends in here instead of doing it over sends on fader. Then last up, you just have your USB recorder, which I don't know where my USB drive went that I usually have in this console. So I can't really demonstrate that for you guys right now. Then over on the right side of your screens, you have your scenes section. Now, by default, this is set up when you click view. This one is by default set up for being your cues. And this is for going back and forwards between your cues and pressing go or loading your cues. If you want to change this, you can easily change this within global config or settings config and then change your show view over to scenes. I prefer this since I don't really use snippets or cues that much. But if you are using cues, I would recommend you to maybe have it on cues instead. Next up, you have your user assignable section. On the X32 full size, we have 4 rotary encoders and 8 buttons with 3 banks of user assignable controls. On the X32 compact, sadly, we only got 8 buttons to work with, although you can still see all the sets showing up in the screen, but it's only set A which actually works, and button 1 through 8, not the encoders. So here you can basically set pretty much whatever you want. You can set it to be, you know, if you had encoders, you could set it to be fader levels, but in the case of buttons, you can set them up to be a jump to a pate, a mute, insert of some sort. In the bottom, mute groups, pretty self-explanatory, lets you combine multiple groups of channels or outputs and have them all be muted with one button. Pretty self-explanatory. Next up, we have the screen on the X32 Compact. TFT screen. It's a 5-inch, I believe. 5 or 7-inch. So here is where your graphical user interface is going to be. You have your screen, your MC monosender or solo bus, and your main left, right. Then you have your home, meters, routing, setup, library, effects, mute group toggle to allow you to add things into mute groups, and your utility button, which depending on which page you are on is going to bring up different things. Then, I guess, what better thing to do than to move to the back and show you guys the back of the console. We are on the back of the console, and here we have our 16 local inputs. We have our 16 aux, our 6 aux ins and aux outs. Aux 5 and 6 being either 1/4 of an inch TRS or RCAs. Your monitor out, your mic level in for your talkback, which is 48-volt phantom power constantly. So make sure that you're using a condenser microphone or a dynamic microphone in which you know has protection in place against 48-volt phantom power before you plug it in here. Your just standard 12-volt, 5-watt lamp. Your 8 XLR outputs. In the bottom here below all of this is your X Live card or your My X USB card, which you can't really see. We got USB and Ethernet for remote control. The USB is not really used anymore for remote control, but it's still there as a fallback. Nowadays, we just use regular Ethernet. Then you can kind of see it down here. Here you have your regular MIDI in and out. Your AES EBU, which is 2-channel audio over a single AES50 cable. Then you have your P16 Ultranet down in here. And then you can kind of see it down in there, but down in the back there you have your 2 AES50 ports A and B. So yeah, so that is really a surface overview over the X32 Compact. This would be then technically the first episode, but the second videos in the series of a few on this. I'm a little unsure how the last few videos are going to go, because a few of the last videos will be regarding AES50. And since I'm renting that from Trondheim Lyd, I'm unsure when those videos are going to be recorded. And I can't keep this mess of a recording setup up for like the entire week if it takes the entire week for them to borrow me one. So because of that, the last few videos may be a little different quality than these first couple of videos. But anywho, besides from that, I want to say thanks for watching the first video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, like, we really appreciate it. And as always, check the links down below for my other channels and my socials. Other than that, stay tuned, stay awesome, and Stage K the heck out of here.